Hello and welcome back to a very special Minecraft church, because today we have a special one-off episode all about Easter. So I have Bredcrumb here with me, and we're going to be building today, and we're going to be building the cross that Jesus was crucified on and the empty tomb. For the purpose of this build, they're going to be basically on top of each other, so that this area, a bit like how our Christmas district sort of tells the story of what we believe happened at Christmas as Christians, this is going to show what happened at Easter, where Jesus died on the cross and came back to life again 3 days later. So we are going to get building, and you're going to see the first ever off-brand culture time-lapse, if all of this works out okay. So we're going to go now. During that time lapse, you may have seen that we had a pillager come and interrupt our building, so here is a funny clip of us dealing with that. Can't they respect the fact that we're you know, making the crucifixion for Jesus?
Nope.
Oh, he's like dead close. Okay.
I'm gonna die. One heart.
Pillager, you are not Jesus! Get out of the tomb! Uh-oh. I need milk. Now let's go back to our scheduled programming and actually see what the finished build looks like. And this here is the Easter scene that we went with in the end. So if I zoom in, you can see we have the cross at the top, which Jared built. We have the empty tomb underneath, and around it, Jared had this idea of planting all these flowers, which I absolutely loved the idea of. So I'm gonna fly over there and talk through some of the stylistic choices we made and talk through a little bit of what happened at Easter. So we're gonna start by talking about the cross, which was Jared's part of the build. And if you want to read about the crucifixion of Jesus, you can read about it in the Bible in John chapter 19. Now, something that's really interesting is that Jesus being crucified and Jesus being a historical person is considered fact. A quick Google search will reveal a Guardian article, which is very simple to read, which explains that there is historical evidence outside the Bible, as well as the eyewitness testimonies in the Bible, that Jesus was a real man who lived on earth and was crucified on a cross. And the Bible gives us a very detailed description of the process of Jesus being arrested and then crucified on the cross, which was a torturous form of execution. And I really encourage you, if you're interested to find out more, read the Bible. I'll put the Guardian article in the comments. There's lots of other sources that talk about that in more detail, but it is really interesting if you want to dig a little deeper. So next up, we're going to talk about the empty tomb. So after Jesus was crucified, he would have been brought to the tomb. It tells us in the Bible that a guy called Joseph basically thought that Jesus was who he said he was, and basically offered up his tomb to put Jesus in. So they would have carried him here, placed him in this bed here that we've made out of stone, and obviously I've done a bit artistically, but yeah, this is the tomb design that I went for in the end. And they then rolled the big rock over, and it was guarded by centurions. And then on the Sunday, the ladies who were Jesus' friends came to the tomb to see the body too. They had ointments and oils that they were meant to put on, but they didn't have time on the Friday, and the Saturday was a day off for them, and they, according to their culture, could not do anything on that Saturday. So they came back on the Sunday to find that the stone had been rolled away. The guards were nowhere to be seen, not having a clue what had gone on here. But they had an angel tell them that Jesus had risen, that he'd come back alive again. And you can read all about the eyewitness testimonies of finding the tomb empty and the angels being there in Luke chapter 24 in the Bible. So you might be left wondering why. Why on earth would Jesus die on a cross and come back to life on the third day after that? What was the point of all this happening? And in the Gospel of John, which is one of the books in the New Testament that has sort of eye testimonies of Jesus' life wrote in it, it says this towards the beginning in chapter 3 verse 16. Yes, God loved the world so much, he gave his only son, so that everyone who believes in him would not be lost but have eternal life. And that is why we have Easter. That is why all of these events happened, and why Christians celebrate at Easter. So Easter is all about God's love. It's about God sacrificing himself so that we could have a relationship with him, so that we can be forgiven from all the horrible things that we do wrong at times. And it's also about hope, because the reason Jesus came back alive again was so that we could have proof that God is more powerful than even death, and to show that one day we can have everlasting life with God. So because it is about hope and life, we planted all of these colourful flowers around it to really seal in the idea that Easter is about hope. Thank you for joining me, and I shall see you in the next Minecraft church. Bye!